Okay, while they're setting up the projector, shall we continue with us and then we'll see it again. Uh, okay, you can all look at us. Firoza. First of all, I must acknowledge the presence of my friends Firoz Abbas Khan and Amit Khanna. They are more than friends, played a very important role in our lives, and some more people are there. So Gajra, since you have made an audio visual, do you see this as a film?
Yes, I'd love this to be a film. If someone from the film industry is gutsy enough to not think that this is a sensational piece of work but deserves to be told as a story.
What is your ideal cast? If you were to give a choice that, okay, these are the people you want for the 3 different roles. Have you given a thought to it?
I keep imagining Vidya Balan as my Simran, but I haven't been able to give enough importance to Raj and Sia.
That's not fair. You're making it very obvious that the story is only of Simran. So who do you think will be Raj?
Raj. I'd love Farhan Akhtar to be Raj.
And Sia can be anybody.
Anybody.
Any particular director you think you would want him to tackle the film?
I would love someone like Firoz Firoz Abbas Khan, to direct the film, because I think the way he handles relationships, whatever I've seen of his plays, is mind blowing.
Wonderful.
So I'd love it if he could direct this film.
Were you? Did you give your first draft to read? Was it Sailesh or any of your children?
It was Sailesh.
What was his first comment on your first draft?
Once again, you're writing about women. Why don't you write something else?
Why did you write about him, you mean to say?
That was his first comment. But seriously, he believed in the story a lot. And he didn't understand a few points, a few takes of certain characters at times. But I think by now he's given up on my argumentative capacities. So he just lets it be.
Also, Balika Badu is about the liberation of a child girl turning into something.
Yes. Somehow it veers towards my take on stories veers towards women finding strength, and I'm really quite unapologetic about it, because one thing is that in all the stories that I work on, the women's relationships are very important. I've never advocated something like a woman being successful without being happy, without having a complete set of relationships which also define her just as they define a man.
Okay, I got it. Would you like to read out some passage?
I would like to ask you one question.
Okay.
While writing this book, I think what kept hitting me again and again was how much more complex an actor's personal life becomes, his relationships become, because of the media glare. Does it affect your personal relationships in a detrimental way? Or perhaps even in a positive way? You have been an actor for decades, but you're very grounded, you're very real. You make an effort to be in touch with real people. It's across the board, that is what people feel about you. But has this ever affected your life? And if so, how have you dealt with it?
It does affect your life. It does make you feel sad, angry, betrayed. But then I will rather feel sad, angry and betrayed and not be a film actor than be a film actor.
Okay.
You see, so it's okay, it's part of profession. You deal with it. It's not only, in today's time, it's not only with film people, it's with sports people, politicians, intellectuals, because media thrives on negativity, because that negativity is news.
Right.
Positivity is no news. So over a period of time, you get used to it, You never stop feeling hurt.
Okay.
Never stop getting angry. Never stop being betrayed. But you learn to deal with it in a little more maturer manner. But every time something is written, every time something is published about you or spoken about you, and if it is not the truth, it does hurt you, it does affect you.
But do you ever feel like retaliating and using the same media to,
There's
in
so
a
much
sense,
other important things to do than to retaliate.
Great.
There is so much to do in life, there is so much creative to do in life, there is so much happening in your life. Also at the end of it, after a few years you discover there are 4 or 5 people around you, whether they are your family or that your friends, whose opinions matter.
Right.
And news is just 24 hours, not even 24, 12 hours a day, which is important. I don't remember what was yesterday's news. We have about more than 20, we have about more than 20 channels, news channels which are very popular or known. Every 20 minutes there is a breaking news on all the channels.
Right.
And every breaking news is about something which has gone wrong. But you don't remember it. So I think public memory is very short. I have my own Twitter handle where I keep clarifying and keep saying but my own things. So thank God for social media. You can use it for constructive things also.
Great. Superb.
Anything else you want to ask me? Any more?
No.
Okay.
I will not push the envelope.
Okay, so let's have a reading of one of your chapters or whatever you want to read.
To Raj, being with Sia was blissful, despite her vulnerable state. The prospect of going back to the Mehra house, especially to Simran, was plain agony. Sia's vulnerability was a change. It was refreshing. It made him want to protect and possess her even more. It made her appear ethereally beautiful and desirable to him. It began with him staying with her because there was a crisis. Then he tried to move away, to reduce the time that he was spending with her. But now, there was no need to pretend. Raj was with her for weeks together. His driver and his secretary Mahesh had stopped checking with him where they had to pick him up from or where to report for work. It was so unlike Raj to not care for what people said about him and Sia, or about the producers who lamented their cancelled shoots. He was enjoying the giddy feeling of being recklessly in love. It gave him the felicity to lie smoothly when he told Simran that he was only bringing Sia back on track so that they could complete all the films they were doing together. Or to tell his children that his heart ached for them, but he was so helpless. To be fair, he did feel anguished after he gave his kids that answer. But when he had figured a long time ago that he would always be guilty in his situation, one way or another. One evening when Sia was browsing through an album, she saw a childhood picture of her and her mother Sulochana's. "How will I ever live now, Raj?" Sia asked Raj as desolation swept over her. "Mama meant everything to me. I never really knew my father. Mama defined my life's ambition when I was just 6. I have never known a normal life. I was always working. I never had any friends, never went to school. I never had a normal childhood. But Mama ensured that I tasted success very soon in life. She made me reach the heights of my profession. She was the best. From taking care of my needs, my home, my finances, she did it all." Raj smiled and said, "Reminds me of the one person who takes as much care of me, Mahesh." Sia began to cry as she said, "Sometimes I feel I should just end it all. I need her, Raj. Wouldn't things be simpler if I ended my life?" Raj was angry now. He knew that Sia was going through depression. He had discussed her condition with the doctor and they had both decided to wait and watch before starting Sia on antidepressants. Raj had sacrificed his family life, earned the wrath of loved ones so that this young girl would not feel that she was adrift. He had been patient with her as he had been with no one else. "Don't you ever say that again," he almost snarled. Sia looked startled. Softening immediately, he said, "Sia, look at me. Look into my eyes. I will never lie to you. When I say I will always be there for you, I mean it. You hear me?" Sia clung to him and began to cry. She said, "Please, never leave me, Raj. I would die if you did." That night, once again, Raj did not go back home. Simran sat up in the darkness of her bedroom with Trishla's head on her lap. She stared out, her mind a tumble of countless thoughts. Trishla was unable to sleep that night, meshed in a nightmare of her own, calling for her father in her sleep, crying no matter what Simran did to soothe her. Trishla's face was drenched in tears. Simran brought her to her room, but the crying wouldn't stop. A helpless Simran called up Raj and gave the line to Trishla. When Raj heard his little baby girl cry, he felt awful. He gently eased Sia off his lap, but she woke up. Trishla's crying, I need to go. Sia looked like she was about to cry. I'll be back, baby, he whispered. I promise. Please trust me. Raj held her, crooned to her, and after kissing her hair, left. He drove fast. He had told Simran that he was coming, yet she seemed unprepared when he walked into the house. He purposefully strode into their room. He lifted Trishla in his arms and took her to their room, to her own room. Trishla held on to him even in her sleep. But once she was fast asleep, he prized himself away. As he stepped out of her room, he found Simran waiting for him. She looked surprised that he was all set to leave again. Her heart sank. Where are you going at this hour? Raj did not say anything. Simran persisted. At least give me an answer. What do I tell her when she wakes up? Raj looked at Simran beseechingly. I'll come back, Simran. Please, I need to leave. Simran pleaded. You don't need to leave. You don't have to leave. Please stay with us. Stay with me. I need you. I love you, Raj. Don't do this to us. Raj heard her out, then turned his back on her and walked out. Who is going to wipe my tears? Who is going to lull me to sleep? Simran wanted to shriek to his back. In the car, Raj buried his face in his hands and wept. He couldn't decide who needed him more. He groaned loudly. Why is this so goddamn difficult? Why can't someone make things easier for me? Over the next few days, Raj began to frequent Vardhan a little more. However, every member in the Mehra clan knew it was just to keep up appearances.
Excellent. Very, very visual description, Gajra.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll leave it to you people if you want to ask any questions to Gajra.
We'll throw it open for those of you who would like to pose questions, but we also request you to kindly restrain the questions strictly to the book and let's not digress. अपने सवाल सिर्फ किताब की ओर होने चाहिए. Thank you. Kindly raise your hand and we'll take the questions.
Acha. Everybody agrees with the book. Which is good, your book is a super hit. You know, the problem with asking a question is people are frightened that they may ask a silly questions. But questions are never silly. So, shall I continue or there is somebody? Oh,
एक हाथ ऊपर है.
जी धरो बेटा.
गुड इवनिंग मैम. मैम जो कैरेक्टर हैं आपने उनका नाम राज और सिमरन ही क्यों चुना?
जी बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है आपका. We've all grown up or grown older hearing about this beautiful love story of Raj and Simran in Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, and in that typical distance between real life and real life, many picture perfect marriages have crumbled in Bollywood as well as outside of it. So to me, Raj and Simran is just a perfect love story, and my Raj and Simran too had a beautiful love story. But love stories don't last necessarily. So this is about breaking the ideal image of the perfect love story. It doesn't always last.
Anybody else? Yeah. Hi.
Hi Gajra, I'm Nilesh. I have a short question. Why you are emphasizing on the once upon a star? Means this can happen in any industry, as Mr. Kher also mentioned. Nowadays, the bias towards any industry is not. Means it can happen to any industrialist, to any other profession also.
Yes, I agree with you. In fact, I've been told that more of it happens outside the glamour world and Bollywood. It's just that we don't hear of it. And here the stakes are high and they are very complicated because of the constant glare of the media, which is what I'm saying again and again. Because in Once Upon a Star, you actually discover how at every twist and turn, whether it's about, for example, a simple thing like when a husband and a wife are going through a breakup, the sensible thing is to sit down the children together and explain things to them in a way that only that parent and that child can understand. However, when media gets intrusive and before the poor children can be explained to by their parents, something twisted is out in the media, and that completely shatters their entire understanding of what has gone wrong. So a simple point like this, which is at every step of the way, I think the media glare is what makes the difference and what makes the story a little different from setting it in another industry.
Gachro, one question. How different is it writing scripts for television series and also being so descriptive and very clear and vivid, bringing alive the story as a writer, that is as an author?
At the end of the day, it's about telling a story. However, writing for television is teamwork. There are many visions which collate to one central vision. And it's a great process because you're learning from each other all the time. However, I believe it is important for every writer to have the ability to be alone and to create, to challenge yourself to write without any other vision helping you out. So it's a much more lonely process, but it's a challenging process, and it keeps you confident about the fact that your own skills as an individual writer are still alive and they're working.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Anju.
Hello, Gajraji. So, as we know that you have been writing daily soaps as well, television shows, which is a constant process. So, I really want to know how could you manage to write a complete book like this with so well etched out characters at the same time. At the same time, it's actually a compliment also that I would want to give you, that you could manage that, of course. So if you can tell me how much time did it take for you to complete the book?
I took about 1.5 years to write this book. I was very clear about the characters. It was not much of a struggle. My first novel was a big struggle. It took me more than 3 years, and I did not understand the craft of writing a novel as well as perhaps I've understood the second time around. So the craft part was easier. I just love writing books because that me time, to me it's me time. And my kids have grown up, so if I interfere too much in their lives, they don't like it. So I need to occupy myself beyond television writing also. I tried to do it and I just find it makes me terribly happy. So it's not a burden at all. It's not a superwoman act at all.
Hello ma'am, good evening sir. First of all, congratulations a lot ma'am for this book launch.
Thank you. What's your name?
Ma'am, my name is Kuldeep.
Kuldeep.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask that how do you get that confidence while writing that whatever I have written, it will be sold or published or like it will get the masses in?
I don't have the confidence. I don't think any writer can guarantee whether a TV serial will be successful and get in TRPs or a book will sell enough. We do our best and we hope for the best, but we prepare for the worst also.
Shall we have the audio visual, please?
We have the AV, yes. We'll roll that for the
Please don't
benefit.
shut any lights.
We are not too confident of the power supply. But for the moment, those of you who just walked in and joined us here for the book launch, we'd like to draw your attention. We are looking at the star, Once Upon a Star, and we have a very special guest. But right now, let's look at the big screen and catch a glimpse of the trailer.
Raj Mehra is the king of Bollywood. He is a cinematic legend in the making. The image of a perfect family man. Raj is the center of attention wherever he goes, and he revels in the love and adoration of his fans, his family, and, of course, Sia. Sia is a young and upcoming star, and Raj's latest flame. She yearns for his love and acceptance. But
Yes, but right now, let's look at the big screen and catch a glimpse of the trailer.
Raj Mehra is the king of Bollywood. He is a cinematic legend in the making. The image of a perfect family man. Raj is the center of attention wherever he goes, and he revels in the love and adoration of his fans, his family, and, of course, Sia. Sia is a young and upcoming star, and Raj's latest flame. She yearns for his love and acceptance. But read how the Raj, Simran and Sia triangle unfolds under the merciless glare of the media in Gajra Kothari's latest novel, Once Upon a Star.
We have the second trailer also, we'll get it rolling.
Read how the Raj, Simran and Sia triangle unfolds under the merciless glare of the media in Gajra Kothari's latest novel, Once Upon a Star.
We have the second trailer also, we'll get it rolling.
Kothari's latest novel, Once Upon a Star.
Congratulations and all the very best, Gajra. To deliver the vote of thanks this evening, I'd like to call upon the Senior Commissioning Editor of HarperCollins, Ms. Meenakshi Thakur, to please join us. Lights, please.
Hi. Thank you for coming all the way this evening to be with us. It's been a fairly long association with Gajra, and we're delighted to be publishing you. May there be many more such books, because I truly admire your courage and your energy for things in life. And you don't do just this. This is not just the one thing that you do. You do so many things at once. You have so many hats. That's admirable. And please do buy your copies and get them signed, because this is not just another Bollywood novel. This is a very it's incisive yet sensitive, and it gives you great glimpses into the showbiz. It tells you about the human side of Bollywood. Things happen everywhere like they happen in showbiz, but she's just trying to show you how all of us are flawed in one way or the other, and no one's life is perfect. We just keep fighting and striving until our last breath. So I thank Gajra for publishing with us. I thank Anupam ji for being here. You've been fabulous, and you've been with her throughout the journey of this book and even the last one. So I knew you through her all along, and it's great to see you here today. Thank you, Landmark, for hosting us over here. Thank you, Vinay and Hiren at Harper, for supporting us all through. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Meenakshi. All the very best to HarperCollins, and just look out for one.
Kothari's latest novel, Once Upon a Star.
Congratulations and all the very best, Gajra. To deliver the vote of thanks this evening, I'd like to call upon the Senior Commissioning Editor of HarperCollins, Ms. Meenakshi Thakur, to please join us. Lights, please.
Hi. Thank you for coming all the way this evening to be with us. It's been a fairly long association with Gajra, and we're delighted to be publishing you. May there be many more such books, because I truly admire your courage and your energy for things in life. And you don't do just this. This is not just the one thing that you do. You do so many things at once. You have so many hats. That's admirable. And please do buy your copies and get them signed, because this is not just another Bollywood novel. This is a very it's incisive yet sensitive, and it gives you great glimpses into the showbiz. It tells you about the human side of Bollywood. Things happen everywhere like they happen in showbiz, but she's just trying to show you how all of us are flawed in one way or the other, and no one's life is perfect. We just keep fighting and striving until our last breath. So I thank Gajra for publishing with us. I thank Anupamji for being here. You've been fabulous, and you've been with her throughout the journey of this book and even the last one. So I knew you through her all along, and it's great to see you here today. Thank you, Landmark, for hosting us over here. Thank you, Vinay and Hiren at Harper, for supporting us all through. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Meenakshi. All the very best to HarperCollins, and just look out for one.
चलो भी let's go there. जिसके लिए आए हैं। अमित खन्ना जी मुझे नजर आ रहे हैं दूर से। अमित खन्ना जी, हेलो जी, हाउ आर यू?
And all the very best to the author, Gajra, this evening, and for always. Those of you readers who would like to get your copies personalized, shortly after the photo opportunity, we'll be having the signing of the copies. You may join us. Do bear with us for some time for the signing of the copies to have it personalized.
So, in center, please. Sir, in center. Sir, look here.
And all the very best to the author, Gajra, this evening, and for always. Those of you readers who would like to get your copies personalized, shortly after the photo opportunity, we'll be having the signing of the copies. You may join us. Do bear with us for some time for the signing of the copies to have it personalized.
So, in center, please. Sir, in center. Sir, look here. the left. Sir, here. Sir. So यहाँ पे. अनमोल यहाँ पे.
चलो भी
हाँ अभी बुक रिलीज.
लेट्स गो इसके लिए आए हैं।
Lesson way.
अमित खन्ना जी मुझे नजर आ रहे हैं दूर से। अमित खन्ना जी, हेलो जी, हाउ आर यू? ओके सर, मैं जाऊँ? ओके जी, सर मैं जाऊँ?
चलो.
ओके जी, सर मैं जाऊँ? 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 ओके जी ओके सर मैं जाऊँ